the reason I even said that because in the amongst the DC 11 coaches, there's Mourinho fans. James is one.
You don't like Mourinho?
No, he does. He does.
I do.
He loves Mourinho.
I love him.
But we got some other coaches like Pierre is a Pep, stan. Like he loves Pep.
Every day steady that guy.
Yeah. And then you got Keith. I mean, there's everybody in these different corners. You know what I mean? Like
what about you? Yeah.
No, that's what I was gonna say. For me, I like things about all of them. You know what I mean? Like I think like I'm not dogmatic about about coaching and ideologies. I think the best coaches, pretty much, there's a couple of things the best coaches do is they cultivate an environment that empowers their players, and that leads to great outcomes, right? And so the outcome is just a symptom of the environment they created in the first end.
Big fact.
And you see, and for somebody like say Mourinho, what he does is he just adapts. Like Mourinho, everyone we were talking about this earlier today. Everyone talks about Mourinho parking the bus, right? Like he's become synonymous with the parking the bus thing, right? But what he does is he adapts to whatever the players he has, and the league he's playing in, and he just makes the best out of it. You know what I mean? Like it's not like if he has the Madrid players, that's a completely different story than playing with the Porto players or what I mean, like so and for me, like I also like coaches that can really take a chance on a player and then make them and help birth them into like superstars. And what Mourinho did with Drogba is, for me,
amazing.
That's like there's not a lot of it. You know what I mean? Like it's similar to. I mean, there's so few like what he did with like that's is like Arsene Wenger and Henry or like there's a few in history, and it's extremely significant because like there's a coach that actually believes in
a player. Gets the best out of him.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like and made and help that player become an icon. In the game, and so that's
even he had to change his position, everything.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, it's yeah. But yeah, man. So yeah. So for me, I like all like I like. I mean, I like. I study coaches in all kind, like in like weird places. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at coaches in the South African league, and then looking at coaches in the Brazilian league, looking at coaches in the Argentina. I mean, like everywhere. Like I'm not dogmatic about like even the big guys now.
But if you had to pick one, if you're a club owner and you had to pick one coach, who would you pick?
What are my choices?
You have everybody that's currently
you watching right now, yeah.
So let's say from the big four, right? So the big four would be Pep, Mourinho, Klopp, and Zidane, right? So those are the big four.
We'll go with those four.
That's a tough list.
Yeah.
From the big four. Oh man, and I can only pick one.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Okay. What if I do this? What if I pick? If I had to pick the head coach, right? The head coach I would pick would be Klopp, right?
Why?
I'll come to it, but then I'll have Zidane as like the. Okay, either like Klopp and Zidane, like they can mix. Like I'll have two. Yeah, instead of having like just one coach, I have co-coaches, right? So Zidane and Klopp, I have.
I don't know how that.
You don't want to answer the question.
I answer that
around the question.
Yeah, but I also want Pep in there to help with my tactical.
You try to have all-star coaches, man.
Yeah, exactly. That okay. You know how everybody's focused on the all-star players. Everybody wants to bring in like everybody, etc. Imagine bringing in all these like those four coaches, right? Imagine having those four coaches on a team. and having them work in different aspects of the game. I mean, that's something.
I mean, that sounds good, but the ego of
That's
these
what I was about to
guys
say.
are at a
Yeah.
high level.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so, but
Yeah.
if you, I know, like, they're all like, you know, out of this world. But that's the thing. Like, so you need like, but what if they each have different roles within the team? You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, everyone's considered the head coach, like, or the coach, or the manager, or whatever it is. But they're all doing different pieces in, you know, in making sure that the team succeeds.
But like currently, though, I mean, currently, like on a professional level, they all have coaches for every you know training.
Yeah, like
but they all know who's the alpha, though, right? But in that situation, with the all-star coaches, they all think they're the alpha. So how will you break that down? That's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, but
That is tough.
no, yeah. So then
Yeah,
maybe
I
you
think
have the president. You have the president of the club. Like the president of the club has to be like Pele or Maradona. You know what I mean? Like or Cruyff. You know, you bring Cruyff back. Cruyff can be the president, and then you have these four guys. You know, get busy.
I mean, that would be great. I mean, like
I want to see that. That's what I want to see. I want to see.
Football is getting so much better. I mean, faster and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Imagine to have coaches like that. I can only imagine.
I mean, imagine a team like
maybe we'll go to the Super League.
I know, right?
That. Whew. No, yeah. I mean, I like all those guys, man. I like. They all, you know, like the thing is, they're all similar to the way we like all these different players. They all the guys I named, they're all game changers in the you know in the coaching realm. Like they've really pushed the needle.
Yeah.
That's right.
And, you know, and they're continuing to push the needle. And then there's younger guys that are coming up that are not yet on the radar, that are doing, you know, different things, etc.
Right.
And you know, we'll see. We'll get there. I mean, you know, for me, one of the things I think is interesting is if you study a lot of different sports or just activities in life, and then you try to find ways and imagine. Like, okay, you remember the Georgetown Press? Georgetown basketball?
Nah, man. No, I'm football through and through, man.
Oh wow, that's good.
Yeah.
But with
Iverson,
the 80s and stuff like that.
The 90s, yeah, George Johnson.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I always think about like, yo, imagine if like, because the press was like, it literally would just suffocate the other team. But first of all, you need guys that know the role. And they need to be in shape and all this stuff, and they just like they will literally just suffocate the team and just score. The score would be like 60-10, something crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So imagine if you can get a football team in that kind of club try. I mean, it tries a lot, but it's still not there. Like at least what I have in my mind. I think that would be insane. Or even recently, what the Golden State has done with scoring, right? So like shooting far from
the percentages, right?
But the line, it went so far back from the line, and they're taking these ridiculous shots. And now it's gotten to the point where if you go to a high school basketball game, everyone is taking these shots. You know what I mean? Like it's become the norm. You know what I mean? Like that everyone's developing ridiculous range. And so I was thinking about this. I was like, imagine if the same thing happened in football, right? Where now guys are close to the box and taking shots or etc. But imagine if everyone start getting this ridiculous range.
Yeah.
As soon as they cross the halfway line, they can bang it in a way that it's you know what I mean?
Skill set, man. That would really have to develop though.
But it's the same thing with basketball. Before, to even shoot at the 3-point line was considered this ridiculous skill set. You know what I mean? Before, and then once Curry and the Clay, the whole Golden State, once they made it the norm,
right?
Other NBA teams started doing it, or the other because also the scouts. This is what scouts started looking for, in their recruiting. So when colleges are starting looking for this, then high schoolers are doing this. Then it goes to middle school. Then you go to the playground now, the 6-year-old
up from nowhere.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's just something to think about. But anyway, I always think about these kind of things. Imagine if we, push, training and just change the dynamic. Now everyone thinks a sub 4-minute mile is the norm.
Right.
There was a time when
it wasn't the norm. Yeah.
Yeah, it was unheard of. You know, you did what?
Yeah.
You know?
I know. And the crazy thing about that is once it was broken,
Oh, it was
like within it just went crazy.
Yeah.
It went crazy.
yeah,
So yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that.
yeah. So
I just think football is such a fine like line game that like Klopp tried to impose that pressing style, and it's cool and it can work for a good 8 months.
yeah.
But the demand on the players is out of this world. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, how long will it last? And that's what I mean. I think that's what happened to Liverpool too. Like, got found out through fatigue. Like, that's hard to sustain.
Yeah,
Because especially all this amount of games those players play too.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, like off season is literally a couple of weeks for these guys because
Right.
they still have to train to be ready for preseason. The turnaround is like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
True.